Welcome to Samsara Sagas. Where timeless stories of ancient Indian wisdom come alive, one tale at a time. The Pandit and the Milkmaid. This is one of the parables Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa loved to tell. A 19th century mystic from Bengal, Ramakrishna taught through simple, piercing stories, pointing seekers beyond ritual to living faith. Mentor to Swami Vivekananda, he spoke of God as an experience, not theory. There once lived a learned Pandit. He was a man of discipline and strict routine. At dawn he rose, chanted the pranava, Om, bathed, and at exactly 7 o'clock he drank a cup of milk. Every day without fail. But there was one weak link in his perfect chain, the Milkmaid. She lived across the river. Each morning she brought fresh milk for the Pandit. But she depended on the ferry. Some days it left early, some late. And so, some mornings the milk arrived after 7. On those days, the Pandit's temper was tested. The clock struck, but there was no milk, and his ritual was disturbed. One morning, anger spilled over. "You're upsetting my discipline. My milk must be here at 7. The Milkmaid replied in despair, "I know, and I rush each morning so I may reach you in time. But you know how the boat is sometimes delayed." "Why do you depend on that boat? Just repeat the name of Ram and walk across. Ram will see you do not drown," the Pandit said with a voice filled with equal measures of confidence and arrogance. The Milkmaid, simple and sincere, took him at face value. She bowed her head low and asked to be excused. The next morning, she arrived exactly on time, pot balanced on her head, smiling brightly. "How did you manage today?" the Pandit asked. "I noticed the boat is still not here." "I did as you said," she replied. "I repeated Ram's name and walked across the river." The Pandit stared. Surely she was mistaken. "Come," he said, "show me." They went to the river bank. The Milkmaid stepped into the water, softly repeating, "Ram, Ram." The river held her. She walked across as though on stone. She turned and called, "Come, master, walk with me." The Pandit could not move. His feet were heavy, his heart heavier. And so he stayed on the shore, watching the Milkmaid cross, carried not by learning, but by trust. What shines through this parable is not about milk, or ritual, or even the river. It is about what carries us when knowledge falters, and where true strength is found. Like the river itself, life often tests us. The surface can look calm, but the currents run deep. Some sink with doubt, some float with ritual, and a rare few walk across, carried by faith. Here's what this story teaches us. Believe deeply. The Milkmaid didn't pause to doubt. She trusted with her whole heart and stepped forward. The Pandit, despite all his knowledge, was paralyzed. That is the paradox of life. Belief often carries us farther than intellect alone. In our own lives, we see this everywhere. A child believes they can ride a bicycle before they've mastered balance. A teacher believes in a struggling student before the marks show it. A leader believes in a new idea before data can prove it. That belief, that deep conviction, is what fuels courage, innovation, and resilience. Knowledge can prepare us, but belief propels us. Without belief, sincerity and effort crumble at the first obstacle. With it, we dare to move, to persist, to create. Live meaningfully. The Pandit's ritual was flawless, yet hollow. The milkmaid's act was simple, but sincere. This contrast is so relevant today. How often do we go through the motions, attending meetings with our cameras on but minds off, offering polite words at home while scrolling on our phones, doing what's expected without truly showing up? Rituals and routines do serve us. They bring discipline and rhythm. But when they lose meaning, they become lifeless repetition. Meaning enters when sincerity is present. When a manager conducts a check-in not to tick a box, but to genuinely listen. When parents read bedtime stories not as a chore, but as connection. When we take a morning walk not just for exercise, but to notice, breathe, and be. Life doesn't demand grand gestures. It asks for presence. Every role we play becomes richer when we bring heart into it. Walk humbly. The milkmaid, unlettered and sincere, revealed a truth she learned the Pandit could not embody. Humility is that rare strength that keeps us open. Without it, we fall into the trap of arrogance, dismissing new voices, holding on to "I know best," and closing ourselves off from surprise. With humility, the world becomes a classroom. We learn leadership from a child's honesty, strategy from a junior's fresh eyes, and resilience from people who live with less but smile more. In families, humility softens sharp edges. At work, it builds collaboration. In life, it makes us lifelong learners. Humility also anchors sincerity and practice. When we stop proving ourselves, we start living more authentically. The milkmaid wasn't trying to perform a miracle. She was simply true to her trust. That quiet sincerity carried her across the river, something pride never could. This was The Pandit and the Milkmaid, a tale from Samsara Sagas, where ancient Indian stories whisper timeless truths to modern souls. While the story ends here, the journey continues within you.